how to climb on a road bike. In today's video, I'll be sharing some of the tips and strategies that I use when it comes to climbing on a road bike. Now, the first thing that you should take note of before you set off on a climb is proper gear selection. Now, gears on a road bike really allow us to climb according to our ability, because some people might be able to climb fast, some people might not. So the multiple gears on a road bike are really designed to cater for that wide range of ability. Now, before you set off for the climb, you do want to make sure that you are in roughly the right gear to set off on a climb, because what you want to avoid is starting the climb and then realizing that you are in the gear that you left off before. Now, the reason why this is important is because you want to avoid making big changes when there's already a lot of load on a drivetrain. You want to avoid making drastic changes to your gear, because not only do you risk damaging your gears, but there's also the chance that if you do happen to switch from the big chainring to the small chainring, there's also a chance that your chain might slip off. So you want to make all the big gear changes before you start the actual climb itself. During the climb, it is totally okay to make gear changes, but the gear changes that you make on a climb should really be small single shifts, because those shifts are to fine-tune your cadence. So there are some parts in the climb where they flatten off a little bit or they steepen a little bit. So when those scenarios happen, you want to make single gear shifts to counter that change in gradient. Now, in terms of cadence range, there are a lot of info out there that say you should spin faster or spin slower because of this and that. Now, my opinion, your cadence range while you're climbing should really be between 70 to 90, because 70 to 90 is really not too fast, which will keep your heart rate under control, and also it is not too slow, which some beginner cyclists might do, and then it end up costing them a lot of discomfort around the knee area. So really try to strive somewhere in between this range. If you can hit a cadence of 80 during the climb, I think that is perfectly good enough. And with this cadence range, you are really able to maximize your potential on a climb. Now, after choosing the right gears and setting off on a climb, the next thing you should take note of is really your body posture. Now, during the climb, you should really aim to relax. Now, because for some cyclists, they tend to tighten up their body as their effort level increases. There are different positions that you can try in order to cue your body to relax. Now, a common position that a lot of cyclists prefer while climbing is riding on the tops. Riding on the tops during a climb is commonly preferred by cyclists because it has a more upright position. As your position becomes more upright, it also takes pressure off your hands. Because a common thing that happens among cyclists is that there's too much body weight on your hands, so what ends up happening is that they lock their elbows, and this is not really a position that you want to relax in. So by taking pressures off your hands, you are able to relax the elbow and open up and really relax for real. By opening up your elbows, you are also promoting better air circulation, which will in result improve your breathing as well. Now, on long climbs like Genting Perez and Genting Sempa, it is also very unlikely that you find it is a constant gradient from start to finish. There are going to be certain sections on a climb where it's a little bit steeper, and there are some sections where it flattens out. Staying seated for so long will most likely build up a lot of pressure in your back. So by riding out of the saddle, you are able to relieve those pressure that you have built up for so long by sitting in a saddle, and also really stretch your lower back. I think one of the best places to ride out of the saddle is to use it to overcome short and steep sections on a climb. There's no need to sit down and change gear in order to get over those steep sections. Just stand up right out of the saddle, use your body weight to push on the pedals, and most likely you are able to maintain speed over that steep section. So it really is a skill that kills two birds with one stone. So the bonus tip here is pacing. If you're new to climbing, you most probably heard this one very common advice that everybody gives you. Start off with a pace that you know you can certainly sustain all the way until the top of the climb. And then once you reach the halfway point on the climb, check in back with yourself again and to see whether you have started off too slow or too fast. And then you can always adjust the pace accordingly from there on. Now, as you start to become a more experienced cyclist, you are also very likely to develop your own pacing strategy. So you know where your limits are, whether or not you can sustain this pace to the top, and also you most probably find your preferred gear choice also. So it kind of goes without saying, but the more you practice, the more you get better at it, and the same goes with climbing. So that is all I really have to share for this very short video, some of these tips and tricks that I use when it comes to climbing on a road bike. So remember to like this video if you found value out of this, and share it with a friend who you think might be new to climbing also. And remember to subscribe to this channel to see more tips and tricks, and I will see you in the next one.